got your knees out and everything? That is crazy. What you think this is? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Wayne Steven with Next Level Lifestyle, and these are the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some of y'all might not remember that. Y'all might be a little too young. These are the 10 relationship commandments. Commandment number 1, do not bring old baggage into a new relationship. Listen, nothing will doom a relationship at its inception like bringing old baggage into a new situation. You and a person start dating, and then, one day he or she is 5 minutes late. You're gonna be like, oh man, that's what the other person did. Now I can't trust you. There's no way we're gonna be able to build this. And now you in panic mode because you brought old baggage. Like if you move in with a person, you're like, hey bro, wanna get an apartment together? And you're like, yeah, that'd be dope. And he brings in this old army burlap sack and there's stuff falling out of it, and he just dumps it on the floor and be like, hey roomie, what's poppin'? It's just like that. Don't nobody want your old baggage and your old garbage in a new relationship. You're supposed to start fresh. That's the point. It's a new start. A relationship is a new beginning. Please treat it as such. Commandment number 2, do not thrust your insecurities on your partner. Listen, how you feel about yourself is up to you. Famous comedian Cat Williams said that's why it's called self-esteem. It's esteem of yourself. It's not somebody else's job to make you feel great. They should make you feel great. They should want you to feel great, but it's not their job to make you feel good about you. You should feel good about you, and in turn, they can then use that reflection of you feeling good about you to make you feel good about you. Does that make sense? Do I need to slow it down? I probably don't. You get it. I threw it down pretty simple. Commandment number 3, do not be a liar. Just don't. Let me tell you something about a lie. And I was talking to my mom the other day. The thing about lies is you gotta keep telling them. There's no lie where you're like, all right, I'm gonna lie up to this point, then I'm gonna start telling the truth. Because at some point in the midst of your truth telling, that truth is gonna throw light on that untruth, and now you got a lie that you gotta deal with. And now you've created baggage. And if she breaks up, or he or she, man, why did I treat guys like they the only liars? If he or she or they, or whatever pronoun you want to use, break up, now they've got that baggage that you gave them, and they're gonna carry it into the new relationship. You suck for that, bro. Rule number 4, do not let social media mediate your relationship. This is one thing I can't stand. Actually, I kind of get enjoyment out of it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I hop on Facebook, and then you see somebody be like, just wish such and such would give me attention. I don't know why I did the woman voice, like they the one that's always doing it. I feel like this is one-sided. Please, don't believe this is one-sided. Dudes do it too. I'm gonna do a dude voice now. I wish somebody would give me some attention. So lonely tonight, right? And you know that the person's married or something like that. Then under the comments, be like, oh honey, or oh girl, whoever it is. Under the comments, they talking all crazy, and it's like it gets super like flirtatious. Now all of a sudden, the other person, your significant other, hops on with a comment like, oh, this what we doing now? You hopping on social media, blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden y'all fighting, and then I am following just that post for the rest of the evening because I'm with all the smoke. I want to see how this is going to transpire. As much as it is entertaining for me, just you shouldn't do it for the longevity of your relationship. Keep your relationship off social media. And you know one thing I hate too, please, you don't have to make your, relationship Facebook official. You don't have to tell anyone. You could just be with the person. That is one of those things that does happen if you don't tell anyone. True story. Rule number 5, don't let same-sex friends become a problem. We've all had this issue. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been 13 years married, and I've never let a female come between my relationship with my wife and me. It just shouldn't happen. Now, in the early stages when we were just dating, I thought it was chill to have female friends. Like, oh yeah, I knew her before I knew you. It just doesn't make a good recipe for a relationship that's not gonna be fraught with all kinds of accusations, asterisks, red dots, red flags, red stripe beer. Nah, that last red doesn't count. This is a conversation that needs to take place between you and your significant other. If you can handle it, by all means. But if you know that you or your partner are not secure enough to deal with that kind of element in your relationship, just don't do it. Rule number 6, do not ask questions you don't want the answer to. I'm gonna give you a scenario. The dude will be the leading character, and he is gonna say something like, honey, I just wanna know, how many men have you slept with? That was from Family Feud. Do not ask that question. That question is dumb. For 2 reasons. One, once you know, is that gonna make you more secure or less secure? Question number 2, because you've already invested in a relationship, is that gonna change the way you deal with it? You shouldn't ask questions you don't wanna know. On the female side, is she prettier than me? I'm gonna tell you right now, if you have to ask, yes, she's prettier than you. It doesn't make her a better spouse. It doesn't make her a better girlfriend. It doesn't make her a better woman than you. She just happens to have physical features that are more appealing than yours. It happens. I mean, heck, Idris Elba looks better than me, but that's about it. I'm crushing the man game as far as the rest of it goes. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. It's dangerous, it's petty, it's childish. Don't do it. Not for an adult relationship. What are we, in high school? Rule number 7, do not do things now that you don't plan on doing later. What I mean by that is, every relationship hits this point where somebody says, you don't do the things you used to. Yeah, because there's certain things just aren't sustainable. Like early in the relationship, you'll see dudes, they'll buy flowers every week. Now you've raised the bar. You got women who, early in a relationship, they'll try their hardest to be super duper sexy all the time. That's not sustainable because life happens. And when life happens, you can't tell life to get out the way because you got flowers to buy or you got super sexy to build up. So you gotta do things that are sustainable, or don't do things early that you don't plan on doing late. The last thing you wanna be seen as is somebody who doesn't care about their relationship. So listen, if you're gonna do something early, put it in your mind. This is something I'm gonna make a habit of. Just don't get out of the habit of doing certain things. Simple as that. Rule number 8, do not try not to argue, but also know when to pick your fights. Like I said earlier, I'm 13 years married. I learned early that not everything is worth arguing about. Like, being right isn't as important as being fair. Being right isn't as important as understanding the other person. Oftentimes, we're usually arguing a point that's not gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. A wise man once told me, ask yourself this, is it gonna matter 3 minutes, 3 days, 3 months, 3 years from now? If it's not even worth arguing about. But a lot of times, pride gets in the way. People act like they have this tally. Like, yeah, I won argument number 17 on June 3rd, 2018. Like, that does nothing but build resentment. Why would you want to build resentment in your relationship just by trying to be right all the time? Sometimes, just saying this, you know what, to be truthful, I don't feel like this is worth arguing about. Obviously, there's a miscommunication. We can either revisit it or we could just drop the issue altogether, but I want to let you know that I don't want there to be resentment in my relationship. Plain and simple. That's all you gotta say. But the thing about it is, pride, and sometimes just lack of education keeps you from saying stuff like that. Because to be truthful, and I'm not trying to crap on dudes, because there are some women that are like this too, most dudes and some women don't even know how to communicate that fact because they've spent so much time watching other people argue. They probably learned to argue from their parents. And their parents probably argue the same way with no point, just yelling. But if you find somebody who is emotionally available and emotionally intelligent, they usually won't argue like that. Hated to get deep, but that's super facts though. Commandment number 9, do not take advice given from your partner as them trying to change you. Because to be truthful, there are just some things that we need to add into ourselves and to take away from ourselves in order to make a relationship go smooth. Sometimes it's not cool that you leave your shirt in the middle of the floor as soon as you come home. There's just certain things that people see in us that if we just tweak things a little bit, we can become a better version of ourselves. But a lot of the time, we're like, oh, he or she is trying to change me. They don't like me for who I am or whatever the case may be. Again, that's just pride. Pride is like probably one of the biggest hurdles in a relationship because nobody wants to let go of who they are because they're so worried about losing themselves, whatever that means. But instead of thinking about it as losing yourself, why don't you think about it as you gaining another person? All it takes is a little time, effort, thought process, consideration, all those things that are necessary to be a human being. Commandment number 10, do not, for the sake of everything that is lovely, do not smother each other. For goodness sakes, if there's one thing I can't stand, is that couples, you see them together all the time as if they have no individual lives whatsoever. Like right now, I'm shooting content. My wife has my daughter at tennis. We're cool with that. I didn't not shoot content so I could go sit and watch my daughter practice tennis. I was like, yo, I want to get this content shot. She's like, yeah, get that shot. That's a good subject title that you're using right now. Make sure it's good. Don't be fumbling around on the camera. So she gave me advice. Going back to commandment number 9. If you live separate lives, each of you are growing in your separate lives. So by the time you come together, guess what? You actually have something to talk about. Hey, I did this today. Oh, seriously? I did this. Whoa, that's cool. Tell me more about that. Now you have conversation, communication. Lines of communication staying open, that makes for a healthy relationship. But when you have people that are together 24/7, 365, what are you going to talk about? Nothing, because you already know it, because you're experiencing each other, because you're scared to let one another out of your sight, probably because you brought some old baggage into the relationship where you didn't, you trusted your last significant other or whatever, and now you can't have people leave your sight because you gotta watch and micromanage and always be. That's ridiculous. Cut it out. Knock it off. We're adults. Whatever an adult's gonna do, an adult's gonna do. You trust that they don't do it, but that's where communication is key. Because if you're talking, you're understanding. If you're understanding, you're knowing. And if you're knowing, you're growing. I didn't even mean for that to rhyme. Bars. Hit that subscribe button. It's right here somewhere with me doing this pseudo sexy pose holding a hat. I don't know why I chose that picture. I'm probably gonna change it sometime soon. This is Wayne Stephen with Next Level Lifestyle. Yes, sir.